Coming up on today's Daily Clone, the Cyclones are back in the win column. And then we look ahead to the men's basketball game tonight against Mississippi State. All of that after a word from Fareway.
We know that carrying your groceries out to your car seems a bit old school. That saying hello and asking about your day feels like a thing of the past. Being best at fresh, it's not just a fad. Serving high-quality meat at affordable prices? Talk about a throwback. But at Fareway, that's kind of our thing. Because some things never go out of style. Friendly at Fareway. It's more than just a name.
Hello and welcome into the Northwest Bank Studios for the Daily Clone here on a Victory Monday presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. Thanksgiving is coming right up, and Fareway Meat and Grocery is your one-stop shop for all things Thanksgiving. Whether you want your turkey from there, ingredients for some sides, some beer, some wine, and everything in between, hit up your local Fareway Meat and Grocery. We appreciate their support of the Daily Clone. The Cyclones are back in the win column with a 20-17 win over TCU in one of the more improbable Iowa State wins of the past few years. And the point spread, it was just around a touchdown. So on paper, it's not some massive upset. And honestly, I don't think I would call it an upset either, because Iowa State is a good team. Like, we know what we've seen all season long. It'd just been a good team that was destroying itself in the margins. And I'm not going to act like they were perfect on the margins on Saturday either. They weren't. They had plenty of mistakes. But finally, when the opportunity, when the moment presented itself, Iowa State met the moment a lot more than it had. And I think that's why it was a proud moment for the fan base. It felt good at the end of that game to leave with a win in the win column, because it felt like, with their backs against the wall, the injuries, people telling them they weren't good enough, people telling them that they were out, that they were on the mat, that they weren't going to respond. And what did they do every step of the way? They responded. And that is why at the heart, at the core of this, I think a lot of people fell in love with Matt Campbell and his program early on. It was that underdog mentality, and it was cool to see Iowa State back in that position on Saturday, and they pick up a big win. Matt Campbell agrees that this is kind of how he built this program, and they're back at those roots.
It's what this program stood for every step of the way. I mean, this team has gone through, and I know we went through some stuff last year, nothing like what's going on in this locker room. And the character, the guts, the toughness of our kids to battle. I think they've showed it the last 4 weeks, and they showed it again today, and we were able to make enough plays when it mattered the most to finish the game. So really proud of our kids.
At the core of all of that, it takes a player to make a play. It takes a player to have that chip on their shoulder, to have that will to say, I'm going to go make a play. On Saturday, it was walk-on from ADM Aiden Flora making a punt return when Iowa State felt like they hadn't had a play in that moment in weeks. Flora did it.
It all started with just trusting that punt return team. You know, coach has said that we're going to get our shot, and we just have to be prepared for that. And without them, that couldn't have happened. And, coach trusting in me to let me return it, and yeah, it's surreal.
It was awesome. It hasn't happened here since Trevor Ryan and against Kansas. So in 2017. So, you know, for that to happen, and man, he's been close this year early in the season, and then we lost him for a while. And, you know, having him back has been huge. And obviously, you know, man, we had the fluky deal go against us, you know, against, you know, whoever that was in terms of, you know, the game. And, you know, usually those things swing back at you. And for that young guy, he's just keeps showing he's a critical piece of our football.
And the same goes for a guy like Ben Brahmer, who's going to go down as an all-time Cyclone. In the hospital 1 week ago, on the field scoring a touchdown 7 days later. Brahmer has that heart, that will, that determination that Matt Campbell loves.
To be in the hospital room and last Saturday to be here in the first quarter, and he's the guy that kind of sparks it for us is just remarkable. And I think it says everything about his toughness and character. And, you know, I give a lot of credit to our medical team. I thought they were unbelievable last Saturday in the heat of the moment. You know, the care that, you know, Joe and our staff did, and obviously the care at Mary Greeley, they were incredible, and they really took great care of our guys.
What a cool story for Brahmer. When he got carted off the field a week ago, the only thing that anybody thought of was, is Ben Brahmer going to be okay? It wasn't Brahmer the football player. It wasn't, when can Brahmer return to the field? All of that is a bonus. Him being okay was the win. The fact that he went out there a week later and did what he did, that's inspiring stuff. Good for Brahmer, and it's awesome that he was able to go do what he loves to do most, and that's play football. The Cyclones certainly aren't perfect right now. They still have a lot to clean up, and they get a bye week to do that before they welcome Kansas into Jack Trice Stadium on November 22nd. The men's basketball team has a pretty dang big game tonight in Sioux Falls. They play Mississippi State. Jackson Pence has an incredible preview on CycloneFanatic.com of everything you need to know about the Bulldogs. They're a tough team. They're not identical to Iowa State, but they're a pretty similar defensive-minded team to Iowa State, and it'll be a good test. It'll be probably a team similar to what we saw with Northwestern in that exhibition game a couple weeks ago at Hilton Coliseum, but better. They've been an 8 or 9 seed the last 3 years. They've gone 22-10 for the last 3 years. They're just a really solid team, and Iowa State will have to play their best or play close to their best to win this game. Here's TJ Otzelberger talking about how the last 2 games for Iowa State can help on Monday night.
We just take each opportunity as it presents itself. We talk a lot about the standard in our program and playing to the standard. We recognize that, there's a team on the other side each night, but we want to continue to elevate our standard and how we play and go about it. So I think tonight was a very encouraging effort, a lot of respects. Love the offensive rebounding, love the defensive disruptions, love getting to the foul line, love seeing a lot of guys score the ball. So regardless of who we play and how we go about it, that's going to be important that we keep building. So now it's back to the practice court, do everything we can to keep elevating ourselves as we go into that game on Monday.
Again, you can check out Pence's preview of that game on CycloneFanatic.com. He does an incredible job of going in-depth on the Bulldogs and telling you everything you need to know. Pence does just great work previewing all of these basketball teams in the non-conference. I'm going to be boots on the ground at the Sanford Pentagon. I can't wait. We'll have all of our coverage brought to you by Fareway Meat and Grocery. Fareway bringing you Monday's Daily Clone, and they're bringing us all of our game day coverage up in Sioux Falls. I hope you'll join me on Cyclone Fanatic at YouTube after the game with my post-game recap. Join C-Dub after the game for the post-game podcast and all of the great work that we're doing here at Cyclone Fanatic in the Northwest Bank Studios.